Thank you very much, Mr.
Madam Deren Derya.
Exactly. And they are the desk officer from the European External Action Service from Kazakhstan. Thank you very much, and I just want to start with underlining the appreciation of the European External Action Service and the European Union in general for the good state of bilateral relations between the EU and Kazakhstan. We have had good cooperation over the past years, especially in the implementation of the EU Central Asia strategy, which has been mentioned, which has been active in many fields, including environment, water, education, energy, border management, combating drug trafficking, and the rule of law in Central Asia. And recently we have launched a new initiative together with the UN, a joint initiative to implement the UN counter-terrorism strategy in Central Asia, for which we're developing a joint action plan. All these are issues that all speakers at one point or another have mentioned as important issues, but I also wanted to underline this. On the enhancement of bilateral relations between the EU and Kazakhstan, this was a decision, a joint decision that we have taken with Kazakhstan in 2009 on the occasion of the Cooperation Council meeting. This decision reflected that the PCA, the Partnership and Cooperation Agreement from 1999, was now outdated given the recent developments and challenges we're both facing, and also the cooperation between the EU and Kazakhstan. Since then, we have received the negotiating mandate and started the negotiations. But since we have just discussed the question of political reforms and democracy in Kazakhstan, I would like to also underline that when we received this mandate from our member states, we received it together with clear instructions that these negotiations and enhanced relations should go hand in hand with political reforms and advancement on common values, such as democracy, rule of law, and human rights. And we respect this. Our Kazakh partners are very well aware of this. And when we mention these common values, we also refer to OSCE commitments of Kazakhstan undertaken before the chairmanship of Kazakhstan of the OSCE. But also another issue which should actually be of concern to this panel, and no one yet mentioned, are the parliamentary elections of 2012 in Kazakhstan. We will be watching very carefully the conduct of these elections, and we have already talked with our Kazakh partners about addressing the shortcomings that were previously in previous elections reported by the OSCE ODIHR election observation missions. To this end, the European External Action Service, European Commission as well, we are also planning to provide technical assistance to the Kazakhstan Central Election Commission in coordination with the Venice Commission of Council of Europe, as well as assistance to non-governmental and civil society organizations and media. These are challenges faced by Kazakhstan. In terms of internal political developments, there are also the questions of religious extremism, and recently, for the first time since the independence of Kazakhstan, the question of terrorist attacks, which have taken place in the spring of this year. We watch very closely how the Kazakh authorities are approaching these challenges, are trying to find solutions to these challenges. And while we fully understand the security concerns that this country faces, we also underline the importance of human rights and democratic development in Kazakhstan, and that the two should go hand in hand. We do have a regular human rights dialogue with Kazakhstan that takes place every year. The next one is scheduled for the 30th of November 2011 in Brussels. At the same time, we have now increased our cooperation with the Council of Europe, who have developed their own neighborhood policy, and they extend their activities to Central Asia. And last week, while we were in Kazakhstan for our Cooperation Committee meeting and the negotiation round, the Secretary General of Council of Europe, Mr. Jagland, was also in Kazakhstan, and there is a plan to draw up an action plan between the Council of Europe and Kazakhstan in order to help Kazakhstan on this path of political reforms and advancement of rule of law. Other important issues that will be covered by our new enhanced relations and agreements are energy, where last week's discussions showed us that we have very good common understanding with our Kazakh partners, and we hope that the new agreement will build on the good level of bilateral cooperation in this area. In the area of economic dialogue and in order to support diversification, the new agreement will also be an important step towards the relations, enhancing relations between EU and Kazakhstan. On trade issues, even though this is solely the competence of the European Commission, but as the service coordinating all of the negotiations, I'll allow myself to mention the trade issues as well. The negotiations of Kazakhstan for entry to the World Trade Organization is very important. The negotiations we are having on the enhanced partnership agreement, we hope to have it on the basis of the assumption that by the time that agreement enters into force, Kazakhstan will be a WTO member. Of course, these are two different parallel processes, and we will see how those negotiations develop. The current PCA even includes certain provisions that go beyond WTO, what we call WTO plus commitments, and we will also take care to keep these provisions as well, because the whole aim of enhancing relations is to take the agreement that exists right now and to take it further. And we want to make sure that we take it further and we do not back down on the existing relations and existing commitments on that field. However, in the trade field, we also have this important development of the customs union between Russia, Kazakhstan, and Belarus. And we understand that some of the competences which we will be negotiating with Kazakhstan have now become the competences of the new customs union. And we hope that this will not be impeding the negotiations and enhancement of relations between the EU and Kazakhstan, and that there will be speedy solutions found to the issues that we will put on the table. The future calendar on the negotiations, just to inform everyone, the panel, is that we have now, last week, pretty much agreed on the scope and the structure of the new agreement. We have a very good common understanding of what the framework of the new agreement should be, what it should include, and how far it should go in different fields. Of course, we have some differences as well, but we have not yet discussed on the basis of a draft text. We hope to submit a draft text to our Kazakh partners by the end of November this year, and the next round of negotiations will hopefully take place in the second half of January 2012.